Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Elisa Olson, and I am the Communications Director for the City of Corpus Christi. Thanks for joining us, along with our friends at Texas Bridge Credit Union, to celebrate the completion of the Gollihar Road reconstruction. A very exciting day for us all. At this time, I would like to welcome our City Manager, Peter Zanoni, to talk about the importance of this project.
Great, thank you, Ms. Elisa. We appreciate that. And as Elisa said, I'm Peter Zanoni, the City Manager for the City of Corpus Christi. I'm coming off a cold here, so my voice isn't as it normally is, but we're glad to be here today to celebrate both Texas Bridge Credit Union and then, of course, the more than $10 million road project right out here to my right. So today is a great time to celebrate the Gollihar Road reconstruction project. We've been looking forward to this one for some time. I'm sure many of our guests have been as well. We're going to let this fire truck go by. We know our firefighters are hard at work no matter the day and time and location, right? Yeah, right. Good job. They've been battling a lot of fires out there, residential, structure fires, grass fires as well. So remember our firefighters and all our public safety officials. So this stretch of Gollihar Road, which looks tremendous, I've seen it from the other side, over there by Custoris, I guess, right? Runs from Crosstown all the way to Greenwood. It's just under 1 mile, this roadway here. But it's classified as one of our arterial streets. While it may be short in length, it's still a street that has a lot of traffic, as you can see, and a lot of different type of traffic. The street section that initially was here was last constructed in 1952. And it was reconstructed in 1970, and that's all we can say. So built in 52, reconstructed in 70, and that would be 50 years ago, right? So this reconstruction was well timed and necessary. It's be a pretty big fire out there. Let's see. We're just gonna let this other one pass, and then we'll. Okay, one of our battalion chiefs heading to the scene. So what you do see is the nice concrete surface, but what you don't see is the immense underground utility reconstruction that was done as part of the project. This project included that. It also included the reconstruction of the roadway, new sidewalks, new ADA compliant ramps, gutters for the rainwater to go into our storm system, concrete bus pads, and signage as well. All that was replaced as part of this project. All of that you can see, as I mentioned. What you can't see is what's underneath. So brand new stormwater, wastewater, water and gas lines as well. We're just gonna let this other vehicle go. By the time I sit down, we'll know what's going on, but right now I don't know what's going on, you know. So with us today is Ardora. They were the design consultant to help redesign this road. The city relies on our private sector partners to often design a project like this and then to construct it. So we want to thank Ardora for the work that they did. And then Bay Construction is here as well. I met the gentleman from Bay Construction in the blue shirt back there. Bay Limited did the contract construction work. And they know how to do a good job, especially with concrete or asphalt. They do great at both. So I mentioned this project cost. It's $10 million, $10.6 million to be exact. About $600,000 was for the design, and then $10.1 was for the construction cost. So as you can see today, this is just another example of the city council, who I'll introduce in a moment. I should have done that in the beginning, but this city, myself, the mayor, city council, believe in and have put resources in infrastructure and roads. 6 years ago when I first started, roads was the #1 priority. We still hear it, but we know we have it under control, so I don't hear it as much. Rather, what we do have instead is the delivery of that through our bond programs, through our in-house street reconstruction programs, and through our private sector who also does street reconstruction. So across this city, you'll see projects like this: brand new concrete roads, brand new asphalt roads, and reconstructed roads in our neighborhoods. In fact, when I drive into other cities in Texas now, our roads almost look better than theirs in some cases, right? We all agree. Anybody been out of Corpus recently? How are those roads out there, right? See, Councilman Barrera agrees with that. So we have had 3 voter-approved bond programs in the past 6 years that have supported mostly road reconstruction. And we want the city to know that. We know that roads are still priority number 1. But again, there's high confidence in the community that we're delivering. We're delivering not only the product, but we're delivering on the promise. It's always good to have a bond program, but if you can't deliver, it doesn't really mean much. So we're delivering annually in our budget. We're setting aside millions for road reconstruction in our neighborhoods, and we're delivering on that. So this is an example here to show that. We're glad to be here to cut the ribbon on the road, but we're also glad to be here today to remind us of that. That it's taken us 6 years, but we're there, and now we're progressing, and now we'll get better at our roads in our community. So before I turn it over to Councilman Roland Barrera, who is our at-large council member, and who is also on the board of the Texas Bridge Credit Union and a big advocate of theirs, I do want to introduce a few other council members that are here this afternoon. Councilwoman Campos, City Council District 2 representative. Thank you, Councilwoman, for being here. Councilman Barrera mentioned you grew up just right over there in one of these streets, right? Betzel, right? And yeah, and Barrera grew up just right down the street, so certainly we're at home. And then at-large Councilmember Mark Scott in the front, the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Councilman. Yes, sir. And then I did want to acknowledge also Mark and David from Brooks Credit Union. They're with us today. I have to say that we're here to celebrate not only the road, but their work that they've done here at this credit union facility. But I'm glad I'm here to talk about those 2 fine individuals in Texas Bridge because they are huge supporters of the city of Corpus Christi, especially for our United Way campaign, where this year we had a record-setting contribution from all city employees, the highest ever in the city's history. Texas Bridge is a big part of that because of the prizes that they give us that we can encourage our employees to contribute to the United Way campaign, which helps those that are less fortunate than us. And in return, they have a chance to win some pretty decent prizes. And Texas Bridge has never stepped away from their commitment to helping us there. So I want to thank you, Mark and David. Also, with the gas department, they're a huge supporter of all the fine men and women who keep our gas service around the clock. And annually at their Christmas party, Texas Bridge has the best gift there. It's usually a pretty massive TV screen. And it's a highlight of the event. And whoever wins that, we always head to their house for the Super Bowl party. So, right. So thank you all. Thank you, Texas Bridge. Thank you, council members, for being here. Councilman Barrera, we're going to have you come up now and say a few words.
Right. As usual, I want to show you my prepared remarks. Here we go. But first off, I want to thank my colleagues for coming. And, this has been, I want to thank Jeff and Joey. What is it? I saw them here somewhere. There, I see Jeff back there, and there's Joey right there. And without them, this project wouldn't have come to fruition. And I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, these funds were appropriated before I got on the council, right? So I want to say I took it across the finish line. I took it across the finish line, but this was something that's so exciting for me, and simply because of my connection with the neighborhood. As Peter mentioned, Sylvia grew up on Vestal, which is that street you see over there. The former chairman for the RTA grew up on Bluebell, as well as a former assistant city manager who is now city manager in Bastrop, Sylvia Carrillo, grew up on Bluebell. Larry Elizondo, it was on Harvard, right? Or was it Yale? One of the streets over here. He didn't go to those schools, but he grew up there. And I grew up on Orchid, which is 2 streets down over. And I spent many a time riding my bike over here, coming to the convenience store. There was a little taco place, so we'd go over there. We'd sell bottles to come over here. And, it's just, there's such a close connection with the neighborhood. And then also, in addition to have the close connection with Texas Bridge. Another thing, Peter, is that in addition to with the Fill the Boot campaign, all those funds that are collected by the firefighters, or the cash is actually counted here. So that way they use their cash counters and they do that. And Mark, how long does that typically take? And it's in the evening, right? Tonight and tomorrow, so there'll be a couple of days. So that shows their commitment to the city of Corpus Christi. And then it was actually Mark that asked, hey, we'd love to do a ribbon cutting here. And that's the thing, they wanted to volunteer because they're so connected to the community. I can tell you that even with, as they're really excited, and especially as a board member, this is one of the most popular ATMs in town. So we're looking forward to the resurgence of the revenue, and so, but that's the whole thing. So it's really an active part of the community. David and his team, I see them all here. They know almost all the members by name, So it's just really connected to the community. So this is a great project. It really is exciting for me to be from the neighborhood, to be a proud graduate of Moody High School. I often say I walk the stage with Sylvia's sister. So the neighborhood is very close knit, and and it's just near and dear to my heart to be able to come to here before you today. I think the other thing I want to mention is Ardura. In addition, not only were they the engineer for the street, they were also the architect and engineer for the remodel of this facility. About 6-7 years ago? So once again, close knit to the neighborhood. And one other thing, when we said 6 years ago, right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff or Peter, the one commitment that we have from engineering is now that commitment to get these projects on the street is at roughly about $30 million a month, of which we're procuring. So that way we can make sure in Corpus Christi projects like this don't take 7 years to get done. So and that's a sense of urgency that Peter's brought to him. They figured out new ways to get that. So don't ask me about water because I'll be up here for another hour. But thank you so much, Peter. And I don't know where I'm supposed to go from here. Anyway, thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Peter, Councilman. It's great to be here on this beautiful, warm summer day in March. At this time, I'd like to invite the city manager, Councilman Barrera, Councilman Campos, Councilman Scott to come up and join us for the ceremonial cutting of the ribbon over here. Thank you so much, everyone. Please feel free to go inside. Texas Bridge Credit Union has graciously offered to host us for some refreshments inside. Thank you so much.